Entertainment at 220 rupees per share. 40% of profit is what he's already making on his investment in Zee. So he wants to know whether he should continue to hold on to it or should he sell, and if you could give some target for Zee as well, Kunal. So what's your take on Zee? What should Abhishek do with his holding currently?
See, I think the one thing is, of course, that there is a lot of news flow. So there is bound to be a lot of volatility, which would probably be seen on the stock. Now it depends on that you've made good profit. So if you want, you can take some chips off the table and then try and take opportunity of the volatility and then buy the stock at lower levels. If in case you are in for these short-term adjustments towards your portfolio. But just purely looking at the price breakout, the move which started off last month for Zee and the big breakout which we'd seen for the stock, almost 100% jump in a matter of I think 3-4 weeks for the stock prior to that. So I believe just looking at the pure candlestick pattern, I would expect Zee to perform exceptionally well over the near to medium term as well. The only catch, as I said, could be the heightened bit of volatility and the news flow surrounding the stock. But I believe over the course of the next 3 to 6 months at least, the stock could head towards 400 plus levels as well.
The stock, Gaurang, that we're talking about next is NBCC. We've got a viewer from Singapore, Sudhakar, who's been holding for the last several years, 4 years in fact. His average acquisition price is 33 and he's got 15,000 shares. He's in the green right now, wondering whether to hold for another couple of years. What's the view?
Well, Alex, my humble request to him would be to exit ASAP, that is as soon as possible. That's the one reason that we have it. Of course, we have a reduced stroke sell recommendation on NBCC, and it has been a drag in terms of the performance of the market, peer competitors, even if you have to do peer comparison. And he's one of the lucky ones who's in the green, who's in the profit. So, 48 is not a bad level to take money off the table. And if you do want to look at construction related, infrastructure related companies, then I would give him 2 alternative ideas, or rather 3. L&T, KNR Constructions or PNC Infra. He can make switch into either of these 3.
All right, this next query is coming from Saeed. He's saying that he's bought SRF shares at 11,000 levels. Today was X date, 4:1 bonus. What should I do? Should I hold? And what levels can be seen post the bonus issue? What's your take coming in on this particular counter, Kunal? And I don't think it is 11,000. I believe it's 1,100 rupees odd levels.
So I think post adjustment, of course, the price would be a bit lower, from the current market price. Yes, adjusted towards the price or the bonus. The stock is now at 2,450, 2,455 odd levels. But looking at the charts for SRF, this has been one of the few stocks which has been a big multi-bagger over the last 10 to 15 years. And I believe that the stock has a lot of mojo left even from the next 3 to 5 years perspective. So what you have to for the viewer, what you have to do is try and define your time frame and a time horizon. If you are in for the next 3 to 5 years and if you believe that you want to create a portfolio in that sense, then I believe holding on to SRF from that perspective makes a lot of sense. So depends on your time frame. If it's long term, definitely a hold.
Okay, coming back to you, Kunal, on this next one, L&T is the name of the counter. Chandran from Pune is holding L&T 200 shares at levels of 1,700. Oh, okay. Apologies. Let me hold on to that. He's requesting me to hold on to that question and ask you on SAIL instead. So he's just bought 10,000 shares of SAIL at levels of 126. Should he hold on to this? He's got a time frame of 6 months to a year.
Yeah, I'm extremely bullish on the metal stocks. So even though in the last 2 or 3 months, the metal stocks had gone through a correction, SAIL specifically, I think had corrected from 150 or to 108 or 109. I think the stock had made a low. So purely in that sense, it went through a corrective phase. The weaker hands were shaken out, and the stock is getting ready for a breakout mode yet again. If you look at it, the stock has also surpassed or just about on verge of surpassing the previous month high as well. So I think all of these are indications that SAIL and many of the metal stocks are out of the woods, and these stocks can make a very strong comeback, even with the dollar index perched at fresh 1 year high for themselves. So I think purely on that sense, I would expect SAIL to come back towards at least a 140, 145, which was the previous major swing high just a couple of months back.
All right. My apologies on that SRF thing. The buy price was actually 11,000 rupees per share. Got a bit confused with that big number when I saw it. Nevertheless, let me move on to this query that's coming in from Sagar, and this one is going to be for you, Gaurang. He wants a view on BBQ Nation. He got IPO allotment and added 500 shares thereon. At rupees 575 rupees per share, he's saying the stock has doubled. Should I continue to hold from a long-term perspective?
He himself has said that the stock has doubled, Cheryl, and I have, on the fundamental side, I've been an advocate of not only investing wisely into equity markets, but as a principle and as a discipline, it is equally important to book profits at regular interval. And since his investment has doubled, first a disclosure, I think during the IPO time, if I'm not mistaken, I stand to be corrected, we had a subscribe note for BBQ Nation, and the entire QSR segment has been buzzing, and it is one of the best unlocking theme if one has to invest in. And my sense is that with the young population that India has, I think QSR segment companies or sector is likely to do extremely well. So you have more than doubled your money. You could possibly book at least 50% profit and bring home the capital and maybe a little bit of profit and stay invested in the rest, because the outlook for the QSR segment remains extremely positive.
Question for you, Kunal. This one's on CEAT. Would you buy at this juncture? Is this a good price to buy? And what is the target price that you would look at?
Yeah, I think CEAT could turn out to be a good bet, but I strongly believe, because I've tracked the tire stocks very closely in terms of the outperformance and the beta nature of these stocks, and I believe that two stocks stand out in terms of potential outperformance from a long-term perspective. One of them, of course, is JK Tires. Now, yes, the stock is a mid-cap name, but the chart potentials for JK Tires are extremely strong and robust. If you are looking out for maybe a large-cap name, then Balkrishna Industries as well could fit the bill. I think that stock as well looks very strong. It looks charged up. In the last 2-3 months, it's also gone through a recovery process, bounced off from its 200 moving average. And there is a stable nature element for the stock from a longer-term perspective. So I think it depends on what's your risk appetite. If you're looking out for large cap name, instead of CEAT, I would prefer Balkrishna Industries. And if you're looking out for mid cap name with a slightly higher beta, then I think JK Tire would be a better bet.
Okay, this query is coming in from Marion Portman. How is SBI and Almbic Pharma looking on the charts for the next 3 months? Either SBI or Almbic Pharma. Kunal, what's your view? How's the counter looking like on the charts for the next 3 months?
Well, SBI has been one of the leaders, or I would say, if I can use the word, torchbearers for Bank Nifty to try and break past about that 38,000 mark, which was a huge resistance for the banking index. And it's looking extremely strong. It's been torchbearer for the entire PSU banking sector as well. Just purely based on the price performance for SBI, it's given a lift off to so many of these other beleaguered PSU banks. So I believe that the rally would continue for SBI. Now, difficult to forecast for 3 months kind of a time horizon, but I believe that the stock has potential to cross even 500 over the near term. Maybe a 500 to 520 could be a potential target range which you can look out for SBI.
Questions for you. This is on KIMS Hospital and it's a recent listing. We've got a viewer, Manohar, who's picked up 10 shares and he says that he points out that he's a South Indian and he's looked at this hospital chain. He's quite confident about the business. So he's wondering why the stock is cooling off just a tad bit. Is this on account of the fact that there was a lot of froth maybe and that's settling down, and can he use these opportunities to add to his holding?
Is that for me, Alex?
It's Gaurang, it's for you, yeah.
Okay, so well, being a South Indian or North Indian should not be one of the parameters to invest into stock market. Having said that, at Geojit, we believe that the entire healthcare or hospital sector looks quite promising, and over there, if I'm not mistaken, we have two coverage, Apollo Hospital and Narayan Rudalaya. I think it would be prudent to shift into these two names. Unfortunately, we don't have coverage on the one that he's got invested in, so I won't be able to comment specific on that.
No, fair enough. It wasn't the rationale, Gaurang. It was just that he was saying he's South Indian, so he's familiar with the hospital chain. All right, let's talk about Krishna's question then. He's got Happiest Mind and he's been holding from February. He hasn't told us the acquisition price, Kunal, but he's asking if we should hold on for the near term.
Well, I think you'll have to define what is near term, but I would sense that the recovery and the rally which you've seen for Happiest Minds post listing, from being a stock which was just around 300 rupees to being a stock which is now at 1300, 1400 plus, in the last 3 months as well, the stock has been more sideways. I think one of them, the reason for that, I think, is the fact that the stock has gone into the trade to trade group. I think that's been one of the reasons why maybe the trading activity and the price activity has gone a bit shallow for Happiest Minds. But nevertheless, I think it's a stock which has done exceptionally well. In just a short span of time, the stock has gone to 5x kind of return. So that spells very, very positive from a longer term perspective. Even though chart history is a bit limited, but looking at the last 9-10 months of price history, I would suggest that you should hold up Happiest Minds.
All right, this query is coming in from Kastub, and he's saying he wants a view on Ashok Leyland. He's saying it has hit a target of 150 rupees per share. Do you foresee any more upside in this counter? Gaurang, I'll take this query to you. Ashok Leyland, massive rally seen in that counter. Do you see further scope of upside in this particular company? Fundamentally very strong for further rally?
Well, we have a positive coverage, Cheryl, and my sense is that the entire auto sector is just witnessing a rebirth in terms of the positivities that lie ahead. Yes, I do agree that semiconductor stroke chip issues are a drawback in terms of the production capacity that companies have and the restrictions because of the shortages of this chip. But, Ashok Leyland being a purely commercial vehicle manufacturing company, we are extremely positive. And along with that, as I was mentioning during my view on Tata Motors, that scrappage policy is extremely tailwind positive for companies which are into the CV segment. So I would advise him, in case if he's got time horizon by his side, then definitely hold on to the stock.
We've got a question on Almbic Pharmaceuticals. I'm not really sure about the acquisition price. We've got Ashok, who's he says that an average price, Kunal, of 550. He's got 3,300 shares. He's looking for a 6-month time horizon. What should he do?
I would suggest to hold on. The stock had gone through a very bad and a tough patch in the last 6-7 months from 1,000 levels. I think it's corrected some 25% or 30% or slightly more than that in that kind of a time span. So yes, the stock has gone through a corrective phase. It's trying to get into a recovery. It's holding up above its 50-day moving average, still below its 200-day moving average. So give some time for this recovery to shape up for Almbic Pharma. And I believe if you're not in a hurry, I sense the stock can come back towards 950,000 over the next 6 months to 9 months plus.
Kunal, this one is for you, but I'm unsure if you track this particular counter. SPL Industries, Niranjana has about 1,100 shares, which is purchased at 49 rupees per share. Do you track this counter? If not, then I can move on to another query.
I don't track the stock, but I was just looking at the charts while you were just discussing the name of the stock. I seriously believe that you should get out of these kind of names. There are far better opportunities in quality stocks. Look at what's happening across the Tata group of stocks. Large cap names, whether it's Reliance Industries, mid cap opportunities, metal stocks, L&T Finance. So many of these stocks which are looking exceptionally strong. So I would suggest to exit from these kind of names and get back into quality.
For you, this is on Bosch. This is from Muniraju from Chennai. He is holding 20 shares that he bought over the course of the last few years at an average price of 20,000 per share. Should he hold or should he switch to another one? That's the question.
Well, we have coverage, and during this period of his investment and then the market correction that we witnessed, Alex, plenty of opportunity for him to add to the stock. And more importantly, I think we are extremely upbeat about the parents who focus on the Indian subsidiary and making it a hub to outsource it to the rest of the world from India. And the products that they manufacture in terms of the OEM category and the specifications that they have are extremely positive for a long-term growth. So I would advise him that hold on to the stock, and if you have investable amount, not at current levels, but once you see a retracement either in the markets or on Bosch, then use those retracement or lower levels to average the stock.
All right, time for the rapid fire round then, and rapid fire segment of the query segment then. First one is for you, Kunal. This one is coming from Mojwal Kumar. Wants a technical view on Coal India, which he's holding at 160 rupees per share. What should he do?
I think you should definitely hold up. I've been very bullish on the stock, and I can sense that maybe the stock will be ready for a breakout about 225 as well. So I would suggest a hold.
You, Bharat from Madurai, is asking for a realty stock that he can purchase with a time frame of 5 to 10 years. Which one would that be?
Well, undoubtedly, Godrej Properties or South-based Shobha Limited.
Okay, this one also is for you, Gaurang. This one is from Vimla. Shilpa Medicare purchased at 646 rupees per share. Can I expect good upside in the short term, or should I sell it and move to IRCTC or ITC?
Well, if she wants to move to IRCTC, I would definitely recommend that, but we don't specifically cover Shilpa Medicare.
Kunal, Ircon International is the counter, bought 280 shares. I'm not sure who this is. Please post your name if you possibly can. 45.5 is the acquisition price. Should they hold on?
Well, you can hold on, and I think if it's a 3 to 6 month kind of a time frame plus, you can look out for targets of 55, 58 for Ircon.
Alright, this one is from Arvind. He's saying he's holding CAMS, 20 shares purchased at 3,136 rupees per share. Can I continue to hold it for the shorter term, Kunal?
Well, I would suggest yes, you can hold it, and in fact, if the stock retraces back towards 200 moving average, that's 2500, look to average it out further.
Gaurang, do you have a view on Anupam Rasayan? We've got a question from Suresh from Bengaluru. He's asking whether to hold on.
So yes, we had a IPO note on subscribe on long-term basis. So if he is in the stock from a long-term point of view, we can continue to hold.
This one is from Sagar on Chamal Fertilizers, holding from about 248 rupees per share, 200 shares. He wants to know whether he should continue to hold on to it. Is this a stock that I can hold on for 5 years? What's your take, Gaurang?
Well, no specific coverage on this one, but amongst the fertilizer, I think we have positive coverage on Coromandel and RCF.
Okay, gentlemen, on that note, we're out of time, and thank you so much. All right.
Here is the way that this program leverages the power of digitization. It uses multi-layered geospatial information to generate real-time dashboards, MIS reports, and 3D images. I cannot think of any other government program anywhere in the world of such a large scale and technology-enabled real-time monitoring of such large-scale development projects. This is yet another example where India is setting a global benchmark for digital governance. To me, Gati Shakti embodies and combines some unique features that make a paradigm shift in governance. Firstly, it takes a platform approach using the most modern technology. It brings all stakeholders onto one platform. Such breaking of silos within the government is indeed a utopian condition or a dream come true for all of us in industry. The platform approach also increases transparency all around and helps resolve bottlenecks quickly. Second is the outcome-based approach. Gati Shakti marks a departure from the traditional approach to planning. There is a greater emphasis and granularity in specifying targets in terms of outcomes and not merely outlays. For instance, the plan specifies that by 24-25, India will have 2 lakh kilometers of national highways, 35 lakh kilometers of optic fiber, 4,54,000 kilometers of transmission network, and so on. Clearly, targets have been specified in great detail. Managing and building high-quality infrastructure is, I believe, a national enterprise. Furthermore, we must remember that roads and rivers do not respect state boundaries. Therefore, a holistic approach to infrastructure has to navigate the challenges of working through a very complex federal system. It is almost like conducting a grand yet complex orchestra. The outcome is a symphony like the PM Gati Shakti. I firmly believe that this symphony has the potential to change mindsets and show a path for government, industry, academia and civil society to come together and act for the collective prosperity of India. The synergy that comes from such a collaboration is a force multiplier. Congratulations again, Honorable Prime Minister, on the launch of yet another path-breaking and very deep impact initiative. Thank you very much.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका। अब हमारा अनुरोध है CMD